Go and bring the beat back, Ben, because Doc was. Welcome back to BS3 Network's coverage live from Radio Row in Las Vegas, Nevada, Super Bowl 58. We have the legendary, the great former Bengals, my childhood team. I used to cry when they lost safety for the Cincinnati Bengals. We had Mr. Solomon Wilcots.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Nice introduction. You guys rolling in on some beats and making us feel right at home.
Yeah. The doc was nodding his head over there. And then we have also Dr.
Scott Sigmund.
Dr. Scott Sigmund in with Bear Implant. And we're going to be talking to him in a little bit about getting our knees done. Matter of fact, go ahead, Doc. Just go ahead and give a little bit of what you do, what you got to offer, and things of that nature, and then we'll hit you again at the end.
Perfect. So everybody knows, ACLs are incredibly common, right? Devastating injury. So what do we currently do, man? We go in and we take out a piece of your tendon with a piece of bone out of your kneecap. I mean, that hurts. It takes a long time to recover. It's not easy. Yeah. So I'd ask you guys, wouldn't it be cool if we could get you to grow your own ACL back after injury? And that's what we're talking about with the Bear Implant. So what we do, instead of taking a piece of tissue, your kneecap or your hamstring, we suture your own ACL after it's torn, and then we put this Bear implant, which is made of collagen. We take your own blood, put it over top, and your body can repair and heal the ACL so you grow your ACL back again. Wow. How is that for technology?
That sounds life-changing.
It is absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, NFL athletes.
And so, this is not experimental. I want to be very clear about this. This is FDA approved. It's been through an arduous process of studying. There's over 2,000 that have been done since it's been FDA approved. The results have been great, and it's a really different recovery for our patients compared to a standard ACL.
Right, love it. Now we're gonna get into some football right here. There's no way we can have a NFL legend like this, Solomon. He's been on the field, he's been off the field, in the media, analyst, sports anchor, sideline reporter, all of it. And I got to start with a very hot topic because he played his college ball in Colorado. Go Buffs, ain't that how they say it?
That's right. Solomon? Go Buffs, baby. Okay. Go Buffs.
So talk to me, Deion Sanders, head coach. How'd you feel about it? Give me your thoughts on that.
We were very excited, obviously, when Coach Prime was coming to play for us. I've known him for a while because I started my local television career at the NBC affiliate in Cincinnati at a time when he was playing for the Cincinnati Reds. And so I was covering spring training at the time, and he didn't know quite who I was. I knew, of course, who he was, and I was tasked with getting an interview during spring ball with Deion Sanders. Now, everybody and all of creation was there to try to get that one-on-one. Right. It was almost like I was told, if you don't come back with the interview with Prime, don't come back at all. You don't have a job. And he sent the guy over and asked what my name was. Hey, Coach Prime's going to give you a one-on-one set up in this room, at this hotel, at this hour. He's going to be there. Sure enough, we'll set it up. He walks in the room. And, man, he sat down. He was so gracious with his time. And all those years later, because I went on to work with him in broadcasting at CBS Sports, at NFL Network, and we were colleagues for so many years. And I remember asking him, man, do you know what you did for my career? Coach Prime, of course I did. So that's exactly right. He's force multiplier, but that's the kind of person he is. He is a helper. He's a giver. He's helping a lot of young men fulfill their dreams, goals, and aspirations. Sometimes athletics and being on the football field is the way that they can do it. Right. Making sure they get a good education while doing so. It gives you a launch point, right, to change the trajectory of your life. I can't think of a better place to do that than Boulder, Colorado. And if you haven't been there, you need to go. All we ask is that you don't stay, because it's getting too crowded. We was enjoying our own little peaceful part of the world, man. I learned, hey, look, I grew up in Compton, California. I went to CU. I went to Boulder. And I remember we were losing games. I went into Coach Mack my freshman year. I said, Coach, man, you got to let me start recruiting a lot of dudes from where I'm from. I know some guys who are not afraid to beat Oklahoma, Nebraska, and he did. So we went and got guys like Eric Bieniemy. We got guys like Derek, who won a national championship in 1990. Right. tells you what a great place it is.
Yeah.
Got a great education there, great relationships built. And now that process has begun all over again with Coach Prime at the helm. So we're tremendously supportive of him and of the program and of the players.
Yeah. Talk about going from Compton to Colorado.
Hey, man, I learned how to ski when I was there. I still ski.
Yeah.
And I take my kids every year. They grew up skiing in Vail, Colorado.
Wow.
Because I thought it was important for them to learn that. I think it's a tremendous skill. I think you cannot have a better family vacation when mama, daddy, all the babies, next thing you know, they get grown, they're coming down the hill, and nobody getting hurt. It is the most euphoric feeling that you'll ever have. You know what it feels like to go sliding across the kitchen floor in your socks?
Right.
That's what skiing feels like.
Yeah.
But you're on a gradient, and all you got to do is not panic and get scared.
Right.
Yeah.
When I saw these little 2 and 3 and 4-year-old kids coming out of their little ski school, they weren't scared.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I refuse to be outdone by a 4-year-old. And I learned how to ski. I mean, you learn how to control that slide.
Yeah.
And man, it is such a great feeling, and you're outdoors. It's beautiful. It's great fresh air. You guys got me wanting to just get up right now and leave, because that's how wonderful it is.
Well,
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah.
Sigmund may want to contact the hotels in California, the resorts, and find out, can I get a list of your customers or where they reside so I can know where to set up the next shop? Because there's going to be plenty of ACL for you to repair out of Colorado. I promise you.
That is one of the more common ways you can tear your ACL, Solomon. So be careful, brother.
Hey, I'm still here, and I've done it for years. That means I must be pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, not great, but just, not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
So again, you've worn many hats: athlete, sports anchor, color commentator, sideline reporter, coach. Which one do you like the most? What do you prefer? What would you do for free? Because they say what's your bad, and we wouldn't do it for free,
Yeah.
right? But what would you do for free?
First of all, I did play for free. So we don't even have to be hypothetical on that one, right?
Yeah.
But as a kid, it's a kid's game. Jackie Robinson said the athlete dies twice. And you know why? Because he's saying that, obviously, literally speaking,
Right.
we can't stay here forever. But to do something as a kid that you love doing every single day of your life, and then to have that taken away. You can't do it forever. You can't play sports forever. We all know that.
Right.
And so there's a death there. Many of us who play, we didn't play for the money, man. We literally play for the love of the game. That's how we ended up doing it.
Yeah.
But we got good at it because our parents wasn't out there hitting us with the stick. They weren't cracking the whip. They didn't say, make sure you do your workouts. Oh, I got to get you on this AAU team. I got to get you over here. Got to train you. We did it ourselves.
Yeah.
You know why? Because we love to
the game.
do it.
Yeah.
And so don't take the love away of the game from these kids and young people who are trying to grow in the sports.
Right.
Let them do it. They'll find their way.
Yeah.
And if they don't love it, they ain't going to get there.
Right.
Because you can't get there if you don't love it.
Right. Because there's athletes that have said, I really don't like the game, but somebody told me that I was big enough to play this sport, so I'm going to play it.
And those are the guys who end up tapping out.
Right. Exactly.
Those are the guys, as soon as they get a check, they out.
Right.
Those are the guys that as soon as they get hurt, they ain't coming back.
Right.
If you get injured, and Dr. Sigmund will tell you, rehabilitation, it takes heart. It takes drive.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a want to.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you that you could ask any doctor. The body heals itself, but you know what is the most important part of the body healing itself? The spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Without that, if you don't want it to happen, if you think you're just going to lay there and don't
It's gonna happen
participate
to
in your
you.
healing,
Right.
if you don't do rehab,
Right.
if you don't, I'm telling you, man, it ain't going to heal.
Yeah.
It ain't going to heal.
Yeah.
That's something about the human body. The spirit is the most dominant, the best part of the whole human anatomy.
Yeah.
And that's about our lives too, right? Whatever it is we do for a living.
Right.
If you don't love doing it, you're only going to be mediocre.
Yeah. And you're only going to do it for so
At least
long.
I know I'm not talented enough to do nothing halfway. So y'all, maybe I'm just speaking for myself. Maybe y'all can do this for a living, and Dr. Sigmund, he's so smart and talented. Maybe his heart don't have to be in it. He can just knock it out. And he went through med school and the whole nine, But something tells me He's good at what he does because he loves doing
Right.
what he does.
Right.
Right. So you played the position of safety. I'm going to ask you a question about that, all-time safeties in a moment. But what other positions did you play coming up? You know, in high school, college, did you play any other positions?
Yeah, man. When at Little League, you played everywhere.
Right.
Like, hey, Coach, can I rush the quarterback? Coach, can I play wide receiver? Coach, and it was great. I had coaches that let you do that. You know, back then, man, they just let you try and figure it out.
Right.
But I always loved playing defensive back, man. Something about playing defensive back. It's we're volunteers. You have to volunteer for that job because, you know, too many guys are faster. Too many guys are stronger. They're going to make you look bad if they catch one on you. So it takes a certain mentality. You gotta want to do that job. And when I got to high school, our coach wouldn't let us play both ways. He was like, nope. You know why? He was trying to win state championships.
Yeah.
And if you're playing both ways over the course of a season, that's more wear and tear. By the time you get to the state playoffs, you done played twice the number of snaps as other guys at other positions, and now you're breaking down and they're still gearing up.
Right.
He knew that you had to play the long game. Yeah. And I remember we used to be so mad at Coach, come on, man. And he was like, hey, what are you trying to do? You out here for yourself? You ain't playing for the team? Oh, he would come back at you strong. Yeah. He got you back in alignment and got us to understand it was about the team, right? Everybody wants to play a position. Everybody plays one. Everybody gets to play. More people gets to play. And then we came up one game shy of that state championship, but we were undefeated right up until that point. But then, no, I love playing defensive back. It's the best position in football. It's the one that I love the most because you get to do what you want to do. No coach has to call your name. They don't have to draw up plays for you. When they put you on that field, you don't need a license to go hit somebody. You just got to go find the ball and make a play.
Yeah. But we're out of Dallas, and Dallas has had some safeties that I've fallen in love with over the years. You had your Cliff Harris, you had your Bill Bates, and you had one of my all-time favorites, Darren Woodson. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw Ronnie Lott over there just a second ago.
Hey, that's my dude. Yeah, where Ronnie at? Where Ronnie? I'm getting up to go say hi right now. I'll be back.
Who is your all-time
It's Ronnie Lott.
Is it? Okay.
It's Ronnie Lott.
Okay, well, yeah.
Ronnie, well, it's two guys for me, and if Ronnie was here, Ronnie would understand this because I grew up in Los Angeles, California. And at the time I was growing up, the two, obviously, the best programs in the area for college football is UCLA and USC. And they had two of the greatest safeties the game has ever seen. Right there in town at the same time. In fact, the two safeties were drafted the same year. They came out in that 1981 draft, and it was Ronnie Lott and Kenny Easley. People don't know. You ask Lawrence Taylor about Kenny Easley. Ask Bruce Smith about Kenny Easley because he came from Newport News, Virginia. He was from that area in Alexandria, came all the way out to UCLA, was Playboy All-American. The other safety on that team as a Playboy All-American was Ronnie Lott. Now, Kenny Easley was, I think, the 8th overall selection in that draft. Ronnie went later. Kenny Easley was drafted before Ronnie. That's how bad this boy was. I mean, he was drafted as a baseball player. He played basketball. He played all three sports at a very high level. And was defensive player of the year. They were both made the all-rookie team. They were both bad dudes. And he was such a hard hitter, started taking, and Dr. Sigmund can tell you this, stay away from the ibuprofen, particularly as an athlete. It's not what you want as a painkiller. It will ravage your kidneys. And Kenny Easley found out the hard way. He ended up having to have going on dialysis. It ended his career prematurely. He ended up getting the kidney transplant that he wanted. And because I do shows on Sirius XM NFL Radio, I just talked about Kenny Easley every day. I would go and talk about him and Ronnie Lott because I went to high school in the Inland Empire in Riverside, California, which is where Ronnie's from. So I met him when I was in college, and he would come back. He was playing with the 49ers. He would take me out to lunch, talk to me about what it's going to take to play in the NFL. He's a great man, not only a great player, right? And but I would talk about Kenny Easley. Everybody started going back watching tapes. You know, you can YouTube, right? They were like, oh, this dude was a killer. He was a bad dude. So then, obviously, the writers started talking about, man, this guy need to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Unanimously. When they went back and took a look at it, they got him in there, man. And when he got up there to give his speech, he said, I'm going to end it right now. I'm going to settle it once and for all because the great debate is going to be over. He said Ronnie Lott was the better player. and everyone just stood up because it's always been that kind of great debate. Because these two guys, they were as good as it ever gets. They had ball skills. They were great leaders. Yeah. They could command the room. They were physical. And when it came down to look, in the playoff game, Seattle's playing the Miami Dolphins. The early days, Dan Marino, Mark Duper, Mark Clayton. Yeah. He knocked them both out the same game. Wow. Kenny Easley knocks them out the game. They win the game going away. Next time you get Dan Marino on the show, ask him about Kenny Easley. He gonna tell you about Kenny.
We got to bring up another name here. I'm sorry, guys. Again, Dr. Sigmund here talking about ACLs, and we're going to talk about a Dallas story here.
Yeah.
How about Rod Woodson? Yeah. So you remember Rod Woodson?
Yeah. See, Rod is a cornerback for me, but Rod goes. He's one of the all-time great defensive backs. Period. But I appreciate you bringing that name up.
And of course, he tore his ACL that year against Dallas in the Super Bowl. Coach Cowher held a spot for him, which was highly unusual. He made it back to the Super Bowl. Dallas did win, but a great story about ACLs and why we need a lot of research about ACLs because the other thing is. There's a high incidence of arthritis associated, right?
Right.
You can walk around here, you'll see the NFL players and how many have gone on to total knee replacements. So the Bear implant is showing some early promise that for the Holy Grail, if you have a Bear ACL, we might be able to reduce the incidence of arthritis later in life.
Where can they go to find out and learn more information?
Absolutely, Solomon. The bearimplant.com/Super Bowl. That's bearimplant.com/Super Bowl, so you can find a doctor in your area that can help to talk to you about this really amazing, innovative FDA-approved process.
So we got two more for you if you got time.
Sure.
So we're from Dallas, like we said. I think you know what I'm about to ask you. Dak Prescott, talk about him as the player. Do you think he is the answer for the Cowboys?
Let me tell you right now, Dak Prescott's a baller, man.
Okay.
Yeah, people need to understand. They need to, I don't know where this comes from. You got to understand, man, when you watch a lot of these shows and people understand, they want to smack the hornet's nest because they are entertainers. Right. Yeah. They're not analysts. Yeah. And the viewing population out there, you guys go into it with all this emotion and you let these people stir you up. But that's because they want you to come back the next day and they want you to keep watching and keep listening. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to keep saying the same things about your quarterback because they know it stirs you up and they're going to keep you watching. But no, Dak Prescott, think about what he did this year. Touchdowns went up, interceptions went down. They were still saying the same things about him. And now they're trying to even get his teammates to say these negative things about him.
The teammates' family.
That's how cancerous negativity is. And you just got to be careful. Hey, consider the source, right? And you got to understand when you're watching entertainment, you're not watching journalism. Because if they were using journalism, they would use real, what we call empirical data to make their case in point. I just gave you a quick bullet point, right?
You did.
His touchdowns went up, his interceptions went down.
And interceptions was the issue last year.
Went away. Went away. But the team couldn't stop the run against the Green Bay Packers. The team couldn't stop the Packers from scoring on nearly every possession when they had the ball. And last I checked, Dak Prescott don't play defense.
Got to give it to him. Well, hey, again, guys, bearimplants.com/Super Bowl, bearimplants.com/Super Bowl. Dr. Sigmund, hey, if you can nod your head to the BS3 Network beat, why not? You know, Solomon Wilcots, one of the NFL's all-time greats, good dude. We appreciate y'all for coming on. And our viewers will be sure to follow you, okay, look into you. I might be giving you a call because all the walking we didn't have to do around in Vegas. Look at here. But, hey, we appreciate you guys, all right?
Appreciate you guys.
Good luck to y'all the rest of your
you.
visit and whatnot in Super Bowl.
Great work, guys. Appreciate it so much.